there. I wanted to show you a 5-minute feldy for the sacral clock. And the sacral clock is very similar to the pelvic clock, which is basically your canonical awareness through movement lesson. But the sacral clock is actually smaller. And in Feldenkrais speak, that means it's going to actually be bigger. So we begin this, you can begin with just a body scan if you'd like to do that. I'm going to skip that right now, but you go ahead and do your body scan. And for the sacral clock, we start on the floor. Now the sacrum is right here. It's where your spine meets with your pelvis. And you've got the ilium on either side. And then you've got the sacrum in the middle that connects these two sides. And you have the two SI joints, sacroiliac joints. So here's the sacrum right here, right underneath where the spine meets the pelvis. So that's what we're looking at. And keep your legs long if you can. If you can't, you can go ahead and put your feet up to standing. But if you can keep them long, do that. And honestly, you can go back and forth if you want. If you get tired of them being long, bring your feet up to standing for a little bit and then bring them back down. So get a sense of where your sacrum is, where it's touching the floor. Now the top of the sacrum is going to be 12 o'clock. We're going to draw a clock on the sacrum. And 12 o'clock is going to be the top, 6 o'clock is going to be the bottom, 3 o'clock is going to be the left side, and 9 o'clock is going to be the right side. So just begin the simple movement of pressing into the 12 o'clock spot on your sacrum, and then pressing into the 6 o'clock spot. Really, it's just tilting your pelvis downward. And just go back and forth a few times. And start to notice how you do this. What muscles are having to do the work? So that's always the first question we ask is, what muscles are doing the work? And what can I feel? And there are some muscles that may be doing the work that really don't need to be doing the work. Maybe there's some tension in your shoulders or your jaw, in your buttocks, and just notice. And just slowly go back and forth and notice if there's any places that are little hiccups. And just go slower through those places. And then when you're ready, you can go between 3 and 9. And notice what's doing the work. Notice where you're holding extra tension you don't need to hold. And finally, notice what else is moving. So when we move the pelvis, it's attached to the head through the spine. So can you feel that impulse where there's this little twist in the spine and it goes up to the head? And maybe your head wants to respond just a little bit by turning. And if it doesn't, go ahead and let it roll just a little bit. Mine tends to go opposite, but maybe yours wants to go the same direction. Mine really wants to go opposite. And then do the same thing between 6 and 9. So go between 6 and 9, and now notice how that movement is going up and down the spine. And then this is exhausting when it's this small. It really is harder than when it's bigger. So take lots of breaks, take lots of rests whenever you need to. Oh, and yawn, maybe that's always good. So now, see if you can put these two things together and go around the clock. So start at 12, and then an arc, go down to 3, and then to 6, and then to 9, and up to 12 again. And just a little tiny circle, and see how round you can make it, and see how smooth you can make it. And then change directions. And And notice again what's doing the work. Where are you feeling the work? What little muscles do you have here in this area that are having to do the work? Does it feel like you're having to put a lot of effort into it? Notice any places like holding your breath or ways that you are holding in your chest, in your arms, your shoulders, your jaw, your neck. Changing directions whenever you feel like it. And then notice what's going on in your head. I am doing some very tiny little circles in my head. They don't have to be very big. And then just rest. Bring your feet up to standing. And maybe do some circles with your feet standing. You can change directions. Just noticing how round it is. If you've got any places that have any hiccups or jumps, just go slower through those places. Those are the places where your brain map isn't complete for your pelvis. And then let that all go and just rest. And when you're ready, come on back up to sitting and up to standing and walk around a little bit and see if anything's different. And I'll see you next time.